Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Trav Bell, the author of my bucket list blueprint. Anyway, it's part 4 here with Trav this week. It's incredible. If you've missed the episodes, please go back. Please subscribe. If you're not already, please subscribe already. And go to Spotify and YouTube and everything. Apple is the other one we're on as well, and other platforms. But today, we explore the science and psychology behind bucket lists. It's not what you think, just let's make a bucket list. That's not what it's about. Trav's unique approach to revolutionising personal development is something we go through. He shares powerful insights about self-leadership and why our education system, something I'm close to, needs a complete overhaul when it comes to mental health and life skills. I don't need to say it. He says it. Let's get into it with Trav. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Cheers. Here's Trav. Right. I'm just going to show, whilst we were talking about your presentation, I did want to show a picture of, again, how it ties into you just being you on stage. And I advise anybody to go...
Man bun on that one.
Well, actually, a question did come into my mind. When you came off stage at the TED Talk, you mentioned you kind of touched back on your old ways, your childhood, your character. Not childhood, I don't know where that came from. Did you get into trouble for... doing what you did, engaging and getting them to put their hands up and stuff like that? Did you get in trouble for that or no?
No, I increased my speaking fee by $7,500.
Oh.
I got hired by government organisations, pretty much every bank, airlines. It set me up.
Oh, love hearing that. Love it.
I did a gig straight away. I did a gig for NAB, did a gig for ANZ. Did a gig for AMP, did a gig for Tennis Australia. Yeah.
I've got another one with you wearing red pants here.
Yeah.
Love it.
It was in New Zealand at a real estate conference.
Nice picture.
Yeah, that was in front of 1,000 people. That was a huge room, that one.
I might need to come to you for some advice on getting on stage and then give me some guidance around how I talk. I'm a talker, you see. I'm definitely a talker. There's always running jokes.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I do coach a lot of other speakers and speakers to anyone who's got a message. I like this happened sort of organically a few years ago. Actually, about 7 years ago, I helped people like, I want to do what you do, Trav, and so I started sharing. I've been on the board of Professional Speakers Australia. I've been, state president of being in the speaking world for a lot. And I've presented over in America at the NSA, which is the National Speakers Association over there. So pretty intimidating doing presentation in front of other keynoters, telling them how to be better keynoters.
Yeah.
I started helping people become speakers, and that's morphed into helping them, because they kind of go together, become a keynote speaker or run your own retreats or be better at public speaking, be a coach, do group coaching, one-on-one coaching, and also put out a book. And those three kind of go together. Yeah. So I started helping people, like I said, about 8 years ago, sort of organically, 7 years ago, organically do that. So, I do that on the side, and it's really cathartic for them to get their message out there and in some form or another start helping people. Your mess is your message. You break down before breakthrough, confusion before clarity. And I think it's really cathartic and therapeutic when people start helping other people who have been where they've been before.
Yeah,
I guess a lot of people too have that on their bucket list. They'd love to be a speaker or do a TED Talk or put out a book or whatever. So, and there's so much trapped wisdom within people that we come across, right? So, and I'm like, fuck, don't die with that wisdom trapped inside you. That wisdom that you take for granted, those lessons that you've learnt coming out of the fire, can help people. So let's help people with what you know. That's extremely therapeutic for people. It's unreal.
Well, that's your compassion kicking in, isn't it? When you compassion, it's like your 12-step of a recovery program. I've never been on a course, but I've heard that the 12 step is where you put yourself in a position to help somebody that you've been through something very, like being an alcoholic or being a drug taker. You go and help somebody else in that position. It is very cathartic. You're right, and I want to go through in a minute the lessons that you use. And I think what the one you're referring to there is the K as kind act for others, isn't it? Is that the point you're referring to?
Yeah, well, like that's part of the, that's the book, the My Bucket List Blueprint, which is 12-letter acronym for how to write a personally meaningful and holistic bucket list. It's not just about travel, and so because that was really short-sighted, so I came up with this piece of, I guess, intellectual property that I did the TED talk on, did the book on, that I'd mentioned in my keynotes now. And it's to help people sort of go north, south, east and west in their own brain, help them to extract and articulate this personally meaningful list. And so, once they go through that at length, it gives them a full, I say a bucket list life plan, if you like. And I guess another quote that I'm quoted on the most is, bucket list is a tangible life plan where our career plan or our business plan should fit into our life plan, not the other way around. So really when I go out and speak and coach, it's always with the, work to live principle in mind. Whatever vehicle that you've got yourself involved in, job, career, business, it's designed to do two things and two things only. And that is to spit out cash flow and also to spit out time flow if you optimize it, right? So, double bonus though, if you love what you do and you're of service to the community and it's hitting your values and you like doing it, which a lot of people can't say they do. 89% of people are what they call disengaged over in America. It's about 70% here in Australia are disengaged. What that means is they're rocking up to work every day, not into what they're doing, hating it, getting the paycheck, coming home. And they'll do that for 40 years of their life. I think the holy grail, especially with work and life, is to do something that you love, have that vehicle spit out the time flow and cash flow to allow you to go and live your life plan, your bucket list life plan. And, that's my whole mission, is to help people, one, get clear on their why, their reason for getting out of bed in the morning, like my 18-year-old to do before I die list. And then help them and just reverse engineer it, help them optimize their vehicle, whatever that looks like. And it's, do a lot of coaching around that and helping people scale, helping people leverage, go online, do whatever it is, but step into, work out what their values is, how to monetize it, and then go for it from there.
Yeah, I love that. And I've got an idea in a minute that I thought about before the episode started, but can we very quickly then, let's not go into huge detail because I know you push for time, but let's go through each letter. So the viewers, MYB,
on the back of the
My Bucket List, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's my bucket list. So M, meet a personal hero.
Yep.
Y, your proud achievements. B, buy that special something. Is something special. U is ultimate challenges. C, conquer a fear. K, kind acts for others. E, express yourself. T, take lessons. L, leave a legacy. I, idiotic stuff. Because S, this category is weird. Satisfy curiosity. That's the weirdest category. And then T is travel adventures. So that's the easy one. But mate, I get tagged in stuff every day. I get sent GoPro footage. I get sent videos, photos on the DMs of people doing their bucket list around the world. And I have done, I've been getting this stuff. And some of the shit that people have done.
Because of you.
They blame me. They say, I was in your seminar. And some absolute amazing, heartwarming stories, but there's a bunch of loose units that have taken it too far. But that's all good as long as it's legal and long as they sign my disclaimer, we're all good. But at the end of the day, people have done some weird shit around me, and then they share it with me. But that some really, yeah. So my next book is literally that in action. So I'm in the process of collecting 365 really random bucket lists from people what people have done.
Great idea.
Like they've gone through the blueprint, they've written it out, and here's what they've done as a result. And there's some fucking amazing stories, funny stories, and some really heartwarming stories. So and we're. Mate, we've had movements started, we've had charities started, we've had everything in between.
Love it. I feel like I want to challenge myself in regards to this whilst I've got you on the line. But there was a couple of examples you shared when you talked about see conqueror to fear. Didn't you in that moment? I think you know what I'm going to talk about. Didn't you go and do a naked? Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because I thought it was hilarious.
Well, thanks for bringing that up, mate. No, when I came back to this guy, people used to, I used to have an ego. I think I've got that. I've been through the ego death thing now, so I really don't. If you challenge me, I was like, yeah. But when I was younger, different story.
Yeah.
So my ex wife, and it's not because she's my ex because she made me do this, but she said, she was in these art classes. She wasn't even participating. Anyway, she goes, I bet you won't be a life drawing model. I bet that's not on your bucket list. A life drawing model, so a nude model for an art class. And I went, bullshit, I will. I'll do it. And I just grew up in Speedos. I'm thinking, yeah, no, I'll be right. And then the moment came. So I wrote it down first, and then I went and did it literally the next month or something. They even paid me $50, so I left with $50. It felt like a cheap hoe. But rule number one, mate, is if you're going to do this, and please write this down, guys. If you're going to be a nude model or a life drawing model for an art class, number one, don't do it in the middle of winter in Melbourne. 2, don't do it in the local art studio
where you live
in your local suburb that's next to the coffee shop where you get coffee every single morning, where the gay barista who serves your coffee every morning also likes art class, doesn't he?
You didn't share this bit. I didn't know this.
No, awkward. 3, make sure you're the only person doing it on the night. So I'm 5 minutes into my routine. There's 50 people, 15 people in front of me behind easels painting my bits. I'm in a deep lunge. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's just a joke. I wasn't.
That's hilarious. Too.
Half lunge. But anyway, it's already awkward. Then this younger, I'm a heterosexual, this younger, hotter girl walks into the room. Oh, cool. She's going to, jump behind an easel. Thanks for coming. Painting bits like everyone else. No, she goes over to the derobing station, which is where you take off all your clothes. She goes over to the derobing station, takes off all the clothes, and then stands next to me. Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
So the male brain, it's interesting.
Yeah.
The grown-up part was like, Trav, grow up. You're an adult. Don't look. Just keep focusing. Guess what took over? The adolescent brain took over. Oh dear. Now we're in trouble. So it was.
Was it obvious or?
No. Well, the joke there is it was the hardest, pun intended, half an hour of my life from then on.
Oh God.
Because I had to channel all the NLP shit, all the positive psychology stuff I've been learning, all of that to talk it down, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. There was another example
We're not going on that note, are we?
No, we're not going to end up. I've got a few things I still want to talk about. So let me know if you do. I know you need to go.
Get my tooth
fixed, but there's a few things I do want to talk about. I really want to share. I really want you to share one more. One that you shared with the Leave a Legacy, and I thought this was beautiful. And I think that was like maybe it was to do with the beginning of your next part of your purpose. Maybe when the girl was crying. I want you to share that story because I thought that was stunning. So
I've raised money for the Reach Foundation, which is set up by Jim Steins, an ex-AFL football player here in Melbourne. And talking about legacy, that's Reach Foundation is an amazing one. And he's since unfortunately passed away with cancer. But Reach Foundation. I've raised money for the Reach Foundation. They do amazing personal development programs for young adults. They go through. They come out better people. And they asked me, said thanks for raising some money for us, Trav. We'd like you to come down and do a talk to the leaders of the Reach Foundation. And to be a leader of the Reach, you've gone through the program, come out the other side and want to pay it forward. So love you guys. I'd be honoured. So I went down to their Collingwood headquarters, gave a talk, my normal sort of keynote talk, and no one over the age of 20 in the room. And one of the girls, 25 people, 30 people in that group, and did my talk. And then in Q&A, one of the young girls got up and she was bawling. And I'm like, you got to be careful when you talk about this stuff. It's pretty delicate, and I talk about cancers and all sorts of things, and so you got to be aware of triggering, right? And she was bawling, and she stood up in front of everyone. They got a very sharing kind of culture there, and I said, "What's going on? What's happening?" And she said through tears, if my younger sister had been here to see your presentation today, she wouldn't have killed herself 2 weeks ago. And so that was a very pivotal day for me, and it still gets me. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the days that really cemented my why and what I'm meant to do and why I do what I do. And it put steroids in my mission. Simple as that.
The word pivotal is, when I heard you say that, was pivotal for me too. I've not had that moment personally.
Not that it's vanilla for me now, but I've had probably five to six of those sort of pivotal, like cementing moments. It's like, yes, I'm meant to do this.
Yeah.
Moments. I've had DMs from people on Suicide Watch. I've had people who've gone through all sorts of different shit, and I was just right place, right time, where they heard my stuff. And sure, they've probably done a bunch of different things around the same time, but it was like, and then that was really pivotal for them to then shift gears.
Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.